Hello there and welcome to Wrexham. I think it's fair to say under the previous manager, Phil Parkinson, back-to-back promotions from a League 2 to the Championship was quite the achievement. But we can't do it again, can we? And lost 0. We are currently top of the league, just on a level points with Ipswich, but that doesn't really tell the full story. Since our last episode, we have a pretty good start. A 3-0 win over West Brom with Kiefer Moore, Kabore and Callum Doyle getting 3 goals in a win. 1-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday, who are tipped to be relegated with their points deduction and administration. Over to the Carabao Cup second round, where a 5-4 defeat to Barnsley started a pretty poor run. Over to the Millwall and the Den, Kabore, Doyle and Kiefer Moore getting the goals in this one, but it took 2 goals, Doyle in the 84th and Kiefer Moore header from a corner in the 90+ third to give us 3 points in that one. Over to QPR at the Stock Ross, and Josh Windass gives the goal, but late on Richard Coney got a goal for QPR, giving us the first drop points of the season, especially at home. That's a bit disappointing. Another Kiefer Moore double in Carrow Road, where we beat Norwich 2-1. Harry Darling getting a header from a corner as well in that one. And then over to Derby at home, where Patrick Adjumang scored for Derby, but 2 from goals for Wrexham, 1 for Kiefer Moore and 1 for Nathan Broadhead. Give us all 3 points in that one. But now it's the big test. Firstly, promotion favourites, along with a couple of others, Leicester City, and then another club with American owners, Birmingham City. So here's the team to face that first game against Leicester, both of the teams within 3 days of each other. Arthur Concro starts in goal with Kabore, Viner, Yao, and Doyle at left back with Sheath, Rathbone, and Brian, Broadhead, Windass, and Kiefer Moore, who scored 10 goals in 3 and 3 assists, along with Windass and Broadhead getting 4 each. And it's fair to say Sam Smith on the bench hasn't been too great, although hasn't played too many starts. Just a 1 assist and a 6.74 rating wasn't the best from him. Couple familiar names in the Leicester lineup: Ricardo Pereira, who once was one of the best right backs in the Premier League; Hamza Chowdhury, Abdul Fatawu, former Bristol City Youth Academy prospect; Bobby Cordova-Reid, Jordan Ayew, and on the bench you got players like Harry Winks, Jamal Lascelles, Patson Daka, Ollie Skip, and Steffi Mavididi. Alright, it's fair to say Leicester, one of those teams that really shouldn't have been relegated to the Championship, but a couple of the players still there, like the Chowdhury. Kiefer Moore knocks that one on, not really to anyone. Ricardo Pereira picks up the loose ball. With Leicester's facilities and budget, they really shouldn't be in the Championship, but here's Jordan Ayew, who's a bit of a hot and cold player. Does go past Viner. Viner does get the ball back though, and it's Jordan James into Sergio Camelo. 5 goals in 4 matches for him. Early in at the King Power Stadium, Leicester 1, Wrexham 0. Callum Doyle with a throw in, 22 minutes on the clock. James, just a bit of pinball in the middle of the moment. Another bit of pinball. Viner, Windass finally brings it down. Windass in and towards Broadhead. He might be offside, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Stilache puts in the back of the net. Not sure we have VAR in the Championship, so that goal will stand. Maybe if we did have VAR, it might be a little bit different, but there is the equaliser. Doyle, just before half time, 37 minutes on the clock, 1-2 there, Britain. Finds Kiefer Moore, back to our left back Doyle. Fatawu cuts back from his right wing position and wins the ball back for Leicester. Ricardo Pereira. Over to Fatawu. It's nice to see we're top of the league, but it's not exactly been full steam ahead, as you can see. Sergio Camelo with his 6th goal in 4 matches for Leicester, getting his 50th goal of his club career in the first goal, and gets his 51st in that one. 2-1 to Leicester. Kabore brings that one down. 42 minutes on the clock. Viner up to Hayam. Down to Viner. To Rathbone. Into Windass. Back to Rathbone. Rathbone's only second appearance since his ankle injury that locked him out of a lot of games. Kiefer Moore finds Josh Windass. Probably could have done a lot better with that one. Stolarczyk sees big. Puts that one out for a corner. Duckadoo Reed just after half time. Cut out Rathbone into Windass. Down to O'Brien. Nice to see we've got that little bit of interplay still going on. Kabore to Rathbone. Does mean our counter-attacks aren't quite as fluid, but does mean we get some possession to hold Leicester back. RU brings that one from Kabore. Kabore just goes down, but referee and even me doesn't even see a foul in that one. Bobby Decordova tries to find Cameo for his hat-trick, doesn't quite find it. Zach Vine on the ball now, finds Rathbone into Broadhead. Broadhead dropping deep to Windass. Windass to Kabore around the side. Kabore into Rathbone. We do have a lot of this possession where we just kind of pass it around just for possession's sake. But, you know what? Possession is 9/10 the rule, and you can... Opponents can't score if you're going to have the ball. Windass in behind, and into Kabore. Sheaf. Just at Cabello, but gets away with it. Kabore down the right side, and James Justin gets in for a throw-in. Corner from Leicester, 50 minutes on the clock, still 2-1 away team. Christensen into Jordan Ayew, free header, hits the floor and then goes wide. 33 minutes on the clock, still 2-1 to Leicester. We've had more other possession, but as you can see, it's only 9/10 of the law, which means quality teams that are like Leicester probably can beat us. Fatawi takes on Cam Doyle, just turns him inside out, and a good save from Okonkwo puts that one out for a corner. First game of today's episode and the first loss. Gary Rowett's Leicester City give us our first loss of the season. We dropped to second, but after playing that many games, you don't mind losing to a promotion rival. But you'd hope that's not something we're going to keep into the next round. Birmingham City did beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. So let's hope that's not a side of things to come. Into the second game of the episode, here we are against Birmingham City, into the same lineup. We do have good news on the bench though. George Dobson is now fit, probably could start, but not quite prepared to risk him from his injury. We are playing Birmingham City, who are the other big American owners in the Championship, as they are part owned by Tom Brady. So it's Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds against Tom Brady. And then under the rain in North Wales, we got face Birmingham City. No news about any of the owners, but the more important stuff, the 22 players on the pitch. Okonkwo, short to Viner, finds Kabore on the right-hand side. First home game we've seen in this series on a video, I think. Brian finds Kiefer Moore into Windass. A bit bigger of a game than it would be. Wrexham against Birmingham, you wouldn't think it's that big of a game. Windass in behind, and James Beadle, Chelsea Loney, puts that one out for a corner. Kabore down the right-hand side. To Rathbone, back to Kabore, on loan from Manchester City, back to Viner, left foot finds O'Brien, into Kiefer Moore, Windass, Moore is brought down, but Bredel brings a good save out for a corner. 10 minutes in, it seems to be all Wrexham so far. Ethan Laird into Priske, on the header, Okonkwo saves that one pretty easily. Hold on to that one, which is pretty difficult to do in the rain. This is falling down pretty heavily here in North Wales. Okonkwo launches it up towards Kiefer Moore. Can he knock it down? Over to Windass. In behind for Nathan Broadhead. One-on-one with Beadle and just puts the ball inches wide of the goal. Corner from Issa Kabore. Short is an option. Into Kiefer Moore. Heads just over the top of his head, but doesn't get the shot on target as he would like to. 3 minutes on the clock, still 0-0 in the American owner derby. I don't know if that's going to stick. Anyway, Rathbone into Windass, back to Rathbone again. Kabore seems to be Very free man over to Windass. He looks free down the right hand side. Got a couple options in the box, but only chooses Kabori. Crossfield to his other wing back. To Callum Doyle on his left foot from centre back into the back of the net. 34 minutes on the clock. Callum Doyle puts Wrexham 1-0 up. Fujimoto for Birmingham finds Osman, just about keeps that one in. Still 1-0 to Wrexham in this, almost, I'm going to say almost a derby game. I'm not going to call it an official derby game, but I guess a competitive derby game. Into Vincente, running through the whole Wrexham team. Arthur Nkonkwo makes himself big, kind of just hits him more than saves it, out for a corner. There is full time in the derby between Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney, and the Birmingham owner, Tom Brady. Wrexham go up to second, joint with Ipswich. I assume their big old friends takes them top of the league. We are back to winning ways with a 1-0 win over Birmingham. That is the end of today's episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.